I want to take us on a journey. I want to show us and open our eyes to see something about what it means to serve a big God. I want to tell you about the people who God made giants, but they saw themselves as grasshoppers. Maybe some of us here have not really come to a knowing of who God has made you. And you're seeing yourself the way somebody told you are, the way community, society, trends told you are. We are really knowing the bigness of God in your life. The children of Israel, they had moved into Egypt because of Joseph. They would do well in the land of Egypt. They will have a good time in the land of Egypt. But that wasn't God's plan for them. Then suddenly, the Bible says a king that did not know Joseph came up and began to punish the children of Israel. They were in bondage. They were in so much pain, and they needed a deliverer. But here's the thing that many of us in this story that we didn't really catch, and this I'm going to point out something about the story of the children of Israel in Egypt, is that when the children of Israel were praying to God for deliverance, we're not praying to God for their prayer of deliverance was, Father, deliver us from this bondage. It's a bondage. Deliver us from the bondage of Egypt. They did not want to leave Egypt. That was not their prayer. They just wanted to be free from the bondage of Egypt. They had lived in Egypt without being in bondage. Things were good for them. They walked, they prospered, everything was fine for them. And their prayer to God was, Father, relieve us from this bondage. Their prayer was not, Father, take us from the land of Egypt. They didn't know the big plans of God for them. In Exodus chapter 3 verse 6, when God will appear unto Moses, he said unto Moses, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look unto God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt. I have heard their cry for the reason of their taskmaster. For I know their sorrow. I have come down to deliver them from the land of Egypt, or from the hand of Egypt, and to bring them out unto the land that flows with milk and honey, unto the place in Canaan. And so you see here, God was not just answering their prayer, he was fulfilling his plan for their life. They didn't think they were big enough for it. They didn't believe. In fact, the Bible says in Numbers chapter 14, that they wanted to go back to Egypt. They had rebelled. What actually happened is very interesting. Numbers chapter 14, verse 1 and 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was in verse 13, the spies had gone and come and told them that, hey, we're like grasshoppers to these people. And they believed. They started crying. They started wailing. And they said, hey, Moses, we need to go back to Egypt. They were not ready to enter into the big plans of God for their life. They wanted to go back to the smallness that they had experienced. Sometimes the smallness that we are used to limits us from entering into the big plans of God for our lives. And the first step from breaking out of that smallness, of our limited experiences, of our lived experiences, of our environment, is coming to a consciousness that God has made us big.